I want to speak with Tom McPhail, the pensions expert on this as well. How are you doing, Tom?
Hi there. Good, thank you. And you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Nice to have you with us. I mean, let's just talk through then. You know, when it comes to pensions, one of the issues, of course, that seems to come up a lot of people over the last week or so have got in touch with us and said, look, you know, I've got this very small private, that same term keeps coming through time and time again, a very small private pension. Unfortunately, it's tipped me over this threshold. So therefore, what I thought was a responsible thing to do during my working life of taking out this pension has been the very thing that has removed me from qualifying for a winter fuel payment. That's broadly where we're at on this, right?
Yeah, and this is one of the perverse problems in the system, is that this benefit is means tested. And if you've got more than £10,000, I think it is, of private savings, then you're excluded from being able to claim the pension credits. And if you don't get the pension credits, you don't get the winter fuel allowance. So it actively acts as a disincentive to save. You either need to save a lot of money so you're entirely self-sufficient and independent of the state, but if you earn a little bit of money, you're effectively going to waste that money. You'd been better off spending it while you're working, because you're just replacing means-tested benefits you're going to end up claiming from the state anyway. So that's clearly a problem, and the way they've anchored the winter fuel payment to the pension credit clearly needs to be have another look at.
Yeah, and it seems quite universal, that view as well. I'm not hearing anyone say we don't need to look at this again, really, other than the government themselves, who are sort of slightly standing firm. I think the legs are probably wobbling over there at number 10 right now, because the fallout from this could be 50 of their own MPs who vote against this, lots of union people who, you know, historically would be linked to the Labour Party, so many of their own members, big voices in their party, and pensioners groups, as we've been hearing. There seems to be quite a universal response to this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they underestimated the impact it was going to have. So I think it's interesting that still today, all the mood music coming out of the government is, no, we're going to stand firm on this. This is a test of our resolve. This is about showing we're responsible custodians of the economy. And again, I mean, I think a lot of people feel they're misreading that this will actually not look like strength on their part. And they're picking an interesting hill to die on here, given how much money potentially it's going to save the government. It's a relatively small beer in the overall economic scale of things, but in the process, they're going to cause huge problems for millions of pensioners. Yeah,
and, you know, fuel poverty, the idea, as I was saying to our last guest, the idea that this is a thing in 2024 is disturbing in itself, and it creeps up on you. We've all had, you know, I woke up this morning, went downstairs in a pair of shorts and a T-shirt, went back upstairs, put a sweatshirt on, because I thought, well, actually, you just in the air, isn't it? We're in September, you just slightly feel it, you know, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, it's just a little chillier, and that's just the beginning of things. It will get colder, and this affects people. So it's not a minor point. Cold can kill. The government say, of course, as you will be aware, Tom, that actually there's lots of people not claiming other things that they could claim for, which is sort of part of their get-out-of-jail defence. I'm sure there's some truth in that, but I'm not sure that's going to address the entirety of this problem.
No, I absolutely agree. And successive government ministers in recent years have run campaigns to try and encourage people who are eligible for pension credits to take it up.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, hundreds of thousands of pensioners have chosen not to do that. And therefore, as a consequence, they are now going to be denied this winter fuel payment, which is linked to the pension credit. So the government running this campaign, this last week, they've said, look, we'll do a quick campaign and get more people to claim the pension credits, and then they'll get the winter fuel allowance as well. Well, we've been down this road before, and it didn't work before, so I'm not sure what they're going to do differently this time to try and shift that down.
Indeed, and I know there's a lot of tech-savvy pensioners out there these days, but there are many that aren't, a bit old-fashioned. You know, the idea that you're there on your own and you've got to start filling out other forms and, you know, get online. How do I apply for this? Oh, go online. It's like, go online? Go where? I mean, many of these people are not online necessarily in that respect. So it's a tricky one to circumnavigate, and perhaps that's one of the reasons why some people have, you know, bureaucracy fatigue, I guess, on this.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also been interesting to hear the government saying, but look, you know, thanks to the triple lock, you're about to get a few £100s more in your state pension from next year. So maybe things aren't quite so bad. But of course, well, first of all, that increase to state pension will come next year, not this winter. As you pointed out, you know, they need the money this winter to help pay their fuel bills. But also, That's simply a cost of living increase. This is to offset the effects of inflation. The winter fuel allowance is entirely separate to that. And as you said, it's a pretty bureaucratic process to apply for. So it's hardly surprising that some people who are eligible don't claim it.
Indeed. Tom, thank you for your time. Great to talk. Tom McPhail, the pensions expert, with us here on Talk.